lot of the rising up and standing up in your world right now today has, some of it has a lot of aggression, intentional aggression. Some of it has, pushback energy in it. And some of it is, it just has to be very different. We're no longer willing to keep operating as we have. It doesn't work. That's actually the movement toward union energy, because it's standing up and saying, we can't just keep having inequity or inhumanity. We have to change it. We have to change it. And some people would say, I don't agree. Okay. I'm still going to move. It doesn't displace me or the countless others who are really leaning into who we actually are and inviting you to join us. Not that one's right or one's wrong. Take that out of it. We know we have people on this call who are beautiful activists who have, one of you actually had a beautiful conversation with about that you created the foundation of so much that needed to happen for human rights. And it's being pushed around, yes. And yet you're still part of that building, and it's going on. And there's all kinds of new ways of building it. And it's leaning into and noticing. If you keep just only looking at the fear and anger, that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to feel. And we're not saying ignore it or deny it. Be aware of it. And yet really, really put your focus on all of the beautiful things that are being built. Yes. Fear of self drives you to believe that things are not fair and that you're not going to get what you need and that nobody's going to see you or hear you. And so you're willing to follow things that aren't really helpful to you. Yes. And so when you stop being fearful of yourself, when you stop running around in that don't want field with all that distortion and the blaming and the excuses and the defenses and the justifications, and you actually say, wait a minute, what do I really need? If every person on your planet, if you could go out and say, okay, everybody gets to have someone sit with them intentionally and say, what do you need? What do you need? Let's take all the details out of it. Let's take everything you think you already know. Let's just sit down and actually say, what do you really need? They will tell you, or they will find it. It might take a while because it takes a while for people to actually talk about themselves. Yes. And if they can get to what they need and find out they can actually have that without the aggression, without the wrecking ball, yes, then that will dissolve. And even if it isn't every person, if you in your life can ask one person and really see them and be with them in what do you need? What do you really need? And they can talk to you about that. They can find, it might take them a while. People are not being used to being asked that because there's so much fearful loving going on that everybody's like, well, I'll just tell you what you need, or I'll tell you what you need so that you can make me feel better, or I'll tell you what you need so that, whatever. And when you can open that in and just think right now, someone just sat with you and said, what do you need? Even if you're not an aggressor, yes? And if you are, like, what do you really need? Whether it's that snap moment or it's a deep like push and I'm going to take over the world and control, or all of some of the bigger things that are going on. If someone really can touch that spot where they tell you what they actually need, everything that drives the harm to others will dissolve. What if they just start, if that feels good to me, I'm going to start kind of living that way, and not just with people, and it doesn't even have to be verbal. Sometimes you can send a signal to somebody that you can see is in distress without ever speaking a word. What do you need? I'm going to hold this space for you and send with you my desire for you to find out. And they can pick it up or not. Yes. And it can be spoken or not. And yet if even just you really started to move, this group started a movement in the world to say, what do you really need? and somebody really feels like you're actually asking them that, and you're going to stand still and actually be present, not that you can solve it for them, not that you have the answer, you might be an answer just in asking them, yes, but that somebody noticed and made it okay for them to need something, and to be able to speak it, to be able to actually say it out loud, get it out of that torture chamber inside of them. And to feel held and valued in that, it's extraordinary. We have often said, if we were running your school systems, yes, that would be not only for the students, that would be for every person who works in the school system. What do you need? In every workplace, what do you need? And if it's it's mutual. So it doesn't, well, I asked you, so now you ask me. You're going to get it from somewhere else. Start the synergy. Yes, that's true human. You're not afraid of yourself when you can ask someone else that. Now, when someone asks you, are you willing to actually like, oh, I'm gonna take this opportunity to share it, yes? Or am I going, oh, I'm okay, I'm all right, I don't need anything, I'll just go help other people, yes? Ask yourselves, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Because your first primary relationship, intimate relationship is with you, yes? And so getting yourself to feel and sense, know, oh, I can ask myself that in any moment for you, and not, what do I need for me? What do I need? That's not selfish. It's one of the most natural and original parts of a human, is that you have a for me. It matters. This life that you are matters. What do I need right now? And that takes you out of throwing, well, somebody else just bothered me, or that's what do I need, instead of putting it on someone or something else. What do I need? And when you really get to that, you'll stop being afraid to answer, or really go all the way there, yes, with real answers, because you're not questioning yourself, you're asking yourself questions.